Hey YouTube, what's going on? If you looked at the name of the title of this video and wondering what the hell it's all about, well, a lot of contests going on right now, so instead of making 3 separate videos for contest entries, I figured I'd make one and just kind of throw all their names into the title. If you haven't figured it out, the first one is for William, WrCallof Duty420. Second is for DRoc96. And last but not least is for Steve, FoolKiller5150. And I'll have timestamps at the bottom for each of those individuals. They can just skip ahead if they want. But the first one is obviously WrCallof Duty420 William. He's actually was one of my very first subscribers, so I had to enter this contest. I mean, everybody knows him. He's got over 100 subs now. He's a great artist. He's a great father. Hell, he supports his family. He sold his comic books to support his family and lost his job. So he's got 3 questions. First one, I got a little cheat sheet here. Keep everything in order. If there's a character you wish that didn't exist, who would it be and why? And that one was actually kind of easy for me. And that's this character right here. If you can see it. Where is it? This one right over here. This Nomad. Now this is not the Nomad that I grew up with. This I think ran for 13 issues. There's a little backstory in Captain America. And I refused to read this. And it took up a good 6 pages of every issue. It's just a waste. A waste of a Captain America issue. This is the Nomad I grew up with. So, that Nomad is a joke. Like I said, refused. I was not reading any of that. Second question. If I could make up my own superhero, what would his name be? What would his powers be? And that was the one I had to think about the most. But I guess my name would Captain Awesome. What better name for a character is that? I think I'd have like practical powers, like the power to teleport. You're out the bar. It's late. Your wife calls you. Where are you? Bloop! Boom. I'm home. I've been home for a half hour. You never know. Turn invisible. You know, again, wife's nagging you, son's nagging you. Bloop, just turn invisible. Don't even know you're there. Like I said before, another power to mute. What's the best power in the world? Son's nagging you, wife's nagging you, boss nagging you. Boop. Mute them. Peace and quiet. And last, I think every man should be able to do this, and that's to multiply themselves. If wives want to go shopping, whoop, just send one of your clones off to hold her purse and watch her try on clothes. Well, nobody wants to do that. You want to watch the game, you want to cut the grass, bloop, bloop, 2 clones, done. Get 2 things done all at the same time. So yeah, so teleport, turn invisible, the power to mute, and be able to multiply myself. Every practical man would want something like that. And then last but not least, if I can hang out with one of my favorite superheroes, if he was real and he existed, I can hang out with him and kind of talk to him, who would it be and kind of what would I say to him. And obviously my favorite hero is Captain America. And how Captain America he's loyal and he's old-fashioned and he probably wouldn't tell me, but I'd have to ask him. Sharon Carter, you know, Diamondback, and of course, you know, for those who are old Cap fans, you know, good old Bernie. So I'd have to ask out of those 3, you know, who's the best. So yeah, that's what I'd have to ask him. Sure, I'd have to sip it on a nice cold sarsaparilla or root beer. So yeah, so there you go. There's my entry for WrCallof Duty420's contest. So William, if you're bored and you don't want to watch, you can just skip out now, and I'm going to turn over to the next contest, which is for DRoc96, and he actually started with 50 subs when he started his contest, and I believe he's got close to 100 now, so good for him. He's a big Iron Man fan. He's always showing off his Iron Man books. And his question is kind of different from one in the past. I've heard from other people, and he wants to know any good comic book hunting stories. And I haven't gone to like stores or small Comic Cons or shows and saying I gotta have this book when I get there. But I do have a couple small stories. Recently I went to a store in Ohio, in Canton, Ohio, Bill's Books and More. And they always said if you ever walk in there to ask and talk to them, and they'll give you a copy of Super Pro #1, all signed by the guys. So I got that. A while back, I contacted a guy on Craigslist about some books, and he had a whole list of books, and the only ones I was kind of interested in were the Tales of Suspense ones that he had, and I know they weren't in a great condition. So he said, give me a price. I think I paid like $20 for these books, and it's not so much the books that that's a good story, but there's number 66, kind of beat up, but I still want them in my collection. There's these in order. 71. See, I gotta read bag and board these. 71, 73, 79, 80. The books aren't really the story. 81 and 82. The guy lives about an hour away from me, so we decided we'd meet kind of in the middle, and we met in a mall parking lot, and it's dark. So we're under a street light. I pull up next to his car. His headlights are off. My headlights are off. I give him the money. He gives me the books. I look. There's a cop driving by. Of course, I want my file now. We're freaking out. Cops gonna think we're doing some kind of drug deal, but we all laughed. It was kind of funny. But that's what that is. And one book I've always wanted, but I never said I gotta go. I gotta find this book. But I went to a small show in Buffalo and I found it. And I think this is the second one I've ever actually seen in person. That's Marvel Premiere #50, Alice Cooper. Wanted that book for forever. Like I said, it's only the second time I've ever seen it in person. So for $5, I had to grab that. And my wife will attest that my memory is horrible. I can't remember shit. But there's one thing I do remember. This is the very, very first back issue of comic books I've ever bought in my entire life. And that is Captain America 175. It's not, like I said, it's not the best condition. I don't even know what I paid for it. The corners are clipped on it. But I was a kid when I bought this, so I was happy to pig and shit when I got that. So those are pretty much my comic book hunt, my hunt stories. Like I said, I don't really go hunting for specific issues or stuff like that. So like I said, DRoc96, check him out if you haven't. Him and William both. I'll have their links down below. So if you don't want to keep watching to the next part of the video, you can skip. You can go on and go find another video or hang out for the next one. But this portion now will be for Steve, FullKiller5150. He's got 200 sub contests, which is crazy to me. But he's got a lot of great videos, and he's recently been doing his childhood toys videos. And if you're a fan of He-Man or G.I. Joe, you gotta watch his videos. There's so many memories coming back watching those videos. He's got 4 questions. Some of them are gonna tie in together, and you'll see when I get to those. But first question is, what got me into collecting? And this question's been asked a lot, and something I always got to think about. But obviously, growing up, watching Super Friends and different cartoons, I've always been a huge superhero fan. So I was starting out with Batman and stuff. And in my very first video, How It All Started, I think it's called, I kind of showed some of my earlier books. But some of my very first comic books, as far as collecting wise, were these 2 issues, 298 and 299 of Captain America. And I bought these on a trip that I stayed with my aunt for a week. I think about these 2 and an issue of Conan. And then my parents saw how I was enthusiastic about comic books and bought me a comic book collecting kit from JCPenney's. And it came with a little comic book collecting price guides and bags and a bunch of books, and all those books are in that video. So if you want to go look at them, you can watch that video. But that's kind of what got me into starting. And my mom was a huge lottery player, so she'd go down to the newsstand, get a lottery tickets pretty much every day. But I'd go down there with her all the time, and I would see the spinner rack, so I'd be like, hey, what's this? Hey, new Captain America, boom, new this. So she allowed, and books were only 65 cents, 75 cents back then, so I'd pick up a book every now and then. And then the owner of the newsstand, he knew that I liked Captain America, so he'd always pull one of those aside when they came out for me. So yeah, that's what got me in, like, pretty much collecting comic books. As far as my most prized possession, I guess it gets changed over the years. One of my very first ones was is a ceramic cat. Nothing special. When I was 4, we moved out of an apartment and into a house. And when me and my mom were out shopping for houses, well, back then I think in my hometown, I think there was 4 houses for sale in the whole city, and now there's like 4 in every street. So the one house that we went to, I was just walking around the house, and the woman who owned it was in the process of moving out, and there was a ceramic cat laying on the floor, and I was playing with it, and the woman said if he wants it, he can take it. So I've had it ever since. So it's gone everywhere I've gone, and I still have it downstairs. So that's probably my first prized possession. Like I said, there's many. There's college diploma, my wedding ring, one, even though this is my 3rd one. I've lost the first 2. My dog tags. But I think right now, probably my biggest prized possession, and I'll explain to you why, is this right here. This is a plaque of an eagle that my mom painted when I was probably, oh God, 4 or 5 years old. And I remember her painting this. The outline was already there, she kind of just colored it in. And in 2007, my mom passed away. But since then, this I got tattooed on my chest. So not only this and this for my mom, that's probably my prized possession. This might go away. This is here forever. So yeah, that's right now is my most prized possession. Moving on to this third question: where would like my collection be in 10 years? 2 things on that would be I have multiple lists that I take everywhere I go. My wife hates these because everywhere we go on vacation or everywhere first thing I always do is open a phone book or go online and find out where the nearest comic book shop is. So these go everywhere with me. So I like to fill all these little squares in. And more importantly, other than just the books, is my son's 5 now. In 10 years he's going to be 15. So within that time, I like to kind of get him into collecting. Excuse me. I already have him. He's buying a few books. I give him a few books like the Cars and a couple of things I pick up for free. He's a huge Hulk fan. So we watch Ultimate Spider-Man together, the new Hulk cartoon, Avengers Assemble. We watch those together. So yeah. So that's where it would kind of be in 10 years. It's kind of getting him into the hobby, you know, at a younger age, getting him into reading. And the last question would be something that I've never, you guys don't know about me before, I've never mentioned before, and I kind of already did that, kind of just did that. I don't really talk about my mom to other people who don't know me. So yeah, she was a huge part of my collecting, and always will be, for that matter. So yeah, so there's something that you don't know about me that now you do. So I hope that's answers all the questions. So like I said, I'll have a timestamp down below for each individual, links down below for everyone. Check them out if you haven't already. I'm sure if you're a sub to mine, you already know who these people are. For some reason you don't, you must live under a rock. So yeah, that's all, and hopefully next video will actually be a haul video. So until then, thanks, bye.